So the primary election is on the 27th of this month. With us this morning is Secretary of State Joycelyn Benson to help us understand or learn some information about the election and what we need to know. Good morning, and thank you so much for being with us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So what do we need to know? What's different now? Is this the first year we hold the primary on the in February?
Yes. First, number one thing you need to know about early voting is that it's happening earlier than ever this year, February 27th. But number two, the other thing to know is that this is the first statewide election where citizens will have up to 9 days before February 27th when they can vote. So instead of having just one day of an election, we now have 10 election days in Michigan. And beginning Saturday, you can vote early in person at an early voting center in your community, and then be done with it and not have to worry about voting in any particular day. You've got 10 days to choose from. And the third thing to know is michigan.gov/vote. That is your portal to your voter registration, where to vote early, how to track your ballot if you voted by mail. Everything you need to know about your vote in Michigan is at that website, michigan.gov/vote.
Is it too late to apply for an absentee ballot?
It is not too late to apply for an absentee ballot. You can contact your clerk's office, fill out a request online at michigan.gov/vote. And at this stage, though, when you do request your ballot, we recommend, especially because early voting is happening, that you can go get your ballot from your clerk's office and return it right there and not have to worry about waiting for the mail to deliver it on time.
That's on it, so they can just drop it off there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How's the early voting going?
We're seeing a lot of enthusiasm from citizens in Dearborn and all across Michigan. We have more people requesting their absentee ballots or their ballots by mail this year than did at this point in 2020. So a lot of people are engaged, and we want that. This is a serious decision. You'll be choosing the people you want representing Michigan in the presidential ballot this November. So choose wisely, exercise your power, and show your power by having a lot of people vote in a community. That's how you also communicate how strong you are as a community in any election cycle. And this is going to be a significant one. So this vote, this February vote, will send a message to candidates about how strong your voice in your community is. And that's why it's so important that everyone participate.
Absolutely. You know, we've been telling our community as well that even if you don't agree with some of the people on the ballot, there are other issues on the ballot. There are local issues that are very important, and people need to participate. Even if they don't like anything on the ballot, they still need to go and vote. You know, voting is something very important. Do we have any numbers on early voting?
Not yet. Early voting begins on Saturday. And so we'll know as we go along how many people are participating. I will be in Dearborn on Saturday to check out the early voting site and ensure citizens have what they need to participate. And we're really excited because even if you don't have a preference in a primary, or you want to vote just for a millage or a local issue, showing up and casting a ballot, even if you vote uncommitted or you submit a different preference, that shows your power in your community. Those numbers, those turnout numbers, communicate that you're watching and that you're determined to hold your elected officials accountable. And this election is a great time to send that message.
Yeah, I know the decision to move Michigan primary to February, it was a political decision. Does that put more pressure on you guys?
No, we're ready, and we've been ready for this election. The laws passed last year gave us an indication that the date would be moving up a few weeks, but that was okay. We just moved our schedule up a few weeks and we hit the go button and started preparing.
Wonderful. If could you repeat one more time if people need information on ballots, on anything else?
Yes, michigan.gov/vote is your one-stop shop for everything you need on voting in Michigan. You can register to vote, request your absentee ballot, find out what's on your ballot, find an early voting location, get your precinct location. Everything you need to vote in Michigan is available at michigan.gov/vote.
What do I need to bring with me to the poll?
We recommend if you have a photo ID, you can bring it. If you don't, you can sign an affidavit affirming your identity, and that signature is used to identify you. It certainly makes it easier and everything goes smoother if you do have a photo ID, though, and can bring it, as most Michigan voters do. In addition to that, be prepared to vote not on election day, but in any day leading up to election day, so that you don't have just one day to vote, but all the days leading into the election to vote. But yourself, your ideas, who you want to vote for, check out a sample ballot ahead of time, michigan.gov/vote, to give you a sense of what's on the ballot. And be prepared to cast your vote, have your voice heard, and hopefully it's a smooth and easy experience for everyone.
What are some of the mistakes people make and they should really pay attention to on the ballot when they're voting?
Yeah, that's a great question. When people are filling out their ballot, it's really important that you read the instructions, because in some offices you can vote for more than one person. In other offices, you can vote for just once. For the presidential primary, you can only fill in one bubble next to a name, or next to an uncommitted, or next to a write-in candidate. If you do that, that becomes your vote. And if you do that more than once, you could overvote and spoil your ballot. If you have any questions, you should ask a poll worker or an election worker, but certainly make sure reading the instructions and only filling out the number of slots that you can vote for that particular office is key to making sure your vote is heard.
Is there anything I haven't asked you people need to know?
I think if people are worried about the election or don't think their vote matters, we want them to know, one, that voting will be safe, secure, and smooth in Michigan. Whether you vote from home and send your ballot back in the mail or return it to the drop box, whether you vote early or whether you vote in person on election day, you've got options to vote, and every one of those options is secure and safe. In addition to that, we want you to know, no matter who you're going to vote for or how you're going to vote, it's so important that you cast that ballot, because just by casting that ballot, you have sent a message to government leaders that you will hold them accountable and that your voice matters. That's a powerful message to send. And this presidential primary is an important opportunity where everyone can send that message.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you taking the time to be with us.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned.